I mean, right off the bat, I wanted to say Wildcats.
Okay, yeah.
They had that insane first game, right? And then I'm interested to see how now with this plane being pretty much as dead center as you could possibly get with a plane path anywhere. I want to see what they can pull off from where they loot. It's been interesting to watch them. I saw some of their open league games as well, and they were never really the team that I looked to see go full ham frag out the way that we kind of see them try to do here. Now, sure, some might argue that they're up against tougher opponents in the contenders than what they were up against in the open league. But we'll see what they can get going here, looting off a center on the map.
Now, this is where everyone should get their chosen spot, right? This should be as even as it can be.
You say that, but Avangar didn't go Milta Power. They knew that Milta was taken. They knew that farm was taken. It's a fight for vehicles that they didn't want to force themselves to take. And it seems like they've gone far north instead. Yep, they're going all the way up to Stalber, but they got Futbolist up there with them. I'm not sure they were sort of ready for that. But now BCGG and Gluteny has already kind of committed down early. So, and it seems like Genso and Mocking actually turning around too. Like, we weren't expecting that. We'll just 180 this one and then find somewhere else to go.
Now I remember this, right? Because there was a couple of games where we saw Avangar take Kameshki or Stalber, and the circle works out in their favor off of this as well.
Yeah.
But we have seen them do this before in phase one. It's not the usual, but they are a team that has a few spots where we can commit to, and it seems this hasn't changed.
Not at all. Besiktas, they've gotten their center spot now that Gamerlegion decided not to commit to Rozhok. So they'll get to loot up there. And then you have LXG and We Need a Home sharing the area of Yesnaya once again. We haven't seen any confrontations based on them landing here, and I don't expect that we will either. But maybe, who knows, down the line, people have been gotten so used to looting in this area that you don't expect enemies around the corner. Just by every game, you loot that one building closer to the opponent. One building closer to the opponent. Right? And then in the end, they'll stay there and they'll be ready for you.
The claws are ready. They will understand on when they want to take the fight.
It's like that game, where you have the dog and you have to push in the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And none of the most scary game in the world that you play as a kid. You push down on the teeth, and then one of the teeth, it snaps your finger.
It's like, not that one, not that one.
It's like Russian roulette for kids. It's
So, I've actually got one for you on this. So, we got for my son the pirate version where you put the swords in and he pops out. And my son just loved it, literally to the point where he was...
loved it?
Yeah, it didn't make him jump. I was like, God damn it, why is my kid so much like me? Actually, I was thinking he's going to get it. Because he just kept putting him in. He was like, oh, this is fun. And then all of a sudden it popped and he just started bursting with laughter. I'm like, great, we've got another insane member of the family.
I got nightmares off of that game when I was a kid. I wasn't touching any dogs for the first many years of my life. So kudos to him for living a fearless life early on. That's pretty impressive. Back to PUBG, though. And no barking dogs. Maybe that'll be a next thing. Kill streaks and dogs.
Could you? Well, some players are like barking dogs with the way they go ferociously towards some of these players.
That is true. You might argue that that some of these guys are indeed like crazy hounds pushing on forward. Now, Zoekt Een Naam, they've had a really good start to the tournament so far, and of course, expectingly so. We have been praising them both. In the beginning of this one, we praised them in Kickoff Cup as well, and also in Phase 1, and they pretty much delivered throughout all of it. But we saw the last two games, I will go down really early, and even though I want to credit them for their placement, they did get extremely fortunate with circles.
Yeah.
They were the ones to sit in a position where they couldn't do anything from. I mean, had T-Bone and Basket gotten forced out of the yellow house in Game 2 earlier, odds are they probably would have died trying to rotate out from there. And that could have been a 12th place instead of a 5th place, right? So I want to see them have a good game, no one dies early, and not play so much. You can't say play on circles because that's what everyone do, but maybe I don't want to see them get so lucky with the circles. Can you say that?
This was one of the things, right, when we see Zen, is that at least in Phase 1, very aggressive, very smart on the rotations. The rotations were pleasing us to no end. Now, in terms of how this North and South Circle went on the melee base last time, right, the one thing they did do, we saw the two players go up north across the bridge and one was stuck behind. Yeah. And yet they still managed to make that work. That alone is pretty impressive, but I agree with you in that sense that, okay, let's see a high kill game come out of them where they have to fight a lot to get through it. And this is potentially the one with the circle being a little bit up towards it means they have to maybe beat some of the teams out. And considering they're not rotating yet, as we can see on the screens at the moment, plenty of teams going past them, they'll be looking to fight their way in very shortly. And most likely, right, given where we are, it's going to be chaos once again when it comes to pushing over towards the north.
How do you like this one? 4 guys, 1 vehicle.
You know I hate it, Toby. This is literally my worst thing. This is like, I want to die.
This is
want
the
to
We
make
Need a
this
Home
hard.
family, you know, like the family car. One thing is they got engaged and everything,
So
but this
who's
is
the
the We
kids?
Need a Home family. Yeah, the parents and the kids on that family stroll on Erangel. That's a scary place. Don't bring your family to Erangel, guys. That's
Oh God.
That's gonna leave PSDs.
Well, that's a shooting range for sure. 3 players of We Need a Home have jumped out the vehicle. Higgy now is still going to be separated from his teammates. Smash has grabbed himself the bike to go on a little bit of a tear, but he is still taking some shots off from Higgy, I believe. And Forze, they will be firing off on all cylinders. But with this direct split of players, it's going to be very hard here if they want to try and actually contest this.
It's not going to be easy, and also, is it worth it? And that's the thing with these LMO compounds. They can be so good to play from, but is it really going to be worth it to sort of claw your way down into, like, sort of dig yourself so deep into one building? The circle could go anywhere. I mean, they're on the far eastern side too, so outside won't go here. At least if you play the percentage game or the chance game, then you wouldn't put all your money in the basket on that compound. But then again, I mean, we've seen crazier things happen than a compound go east a couple of times in a row.
Now, Futbolist on your screen. Hopefully I'm still saying that right, because it's quite an interesting one to say. Because I think football is like, I think it is the German word for football overall. I don't know where the list bit comes from on this. We're going to have to understand how this working out to their team name is. But I want to see some more from these guys. They've had a bit of a rough start to it, and my God, do we have to? Lipson, come on, man.
3 on a day. I can respect 3 on a day. I mean, if we have to have them, then 3 on a day is good, right? But
it's better than what we had for phase 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we had a game with 7 team knocks, and that was also Miramar without bikes,
Yeah.
so that did make things a lot harder. But now let's see how these guys maneuver north. There's tons of water in this one, and as we can see, there ain't a whole lot to play around. Sure, there are right now, but should this circle continue to go north, oh, it's so damn open up there.
I love that from Zen, by the way. I don't know if you caught it down towards the west. The 2 players are making their way over the bridge on the vehicle, and they've got 2 on the hill, just waiting and giving some cover. So maybe just looking around in case there is anyone camping or looking around that spot.
Yeah, I mean, get those kills if you can. I mean, that's how we saw Zoekt Een Naam get a lot of kills in those games last phase. It was that they came in late game with 4 guys alive, having those 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 kills already at that point, and that just... Like, well, I mean, obviously, it just makes it so much easier to get the high kill finishes.
Yeah, let's see. They've now gained control. They watch GL rotate in front of him. Oh, Lipson, what are we doing, bro?
The same team doing this twice within 1 minute. That is maybe they're just sort of doing it to piss us off, you know?
Yeah, they're just tilting me. That's the aim of the game by the looks of it. But the aim of the game here for Besiktas is to stay alive and not be eliminated in 16th place. But Tomil's already gone down. Powerful have found him. And now the rest of Besiktas are just going to have to get on with it. They're trying to fire back there. Lux has managed to get 1 knock in. And K2-3, they're going up against Seekorg. Both the teams that struggle and are going out early on are already taking fights here.
Yeah, K23 qualified and they made their way here through the EU East, sitting in first place, coming into the, finishing off the Open League, I guess you could say, off of that, and then not being able to put up a whole lot here. It's going to be tough for them, but hopefully they'll get things going. I know Mumino, he's a great guy and a very, very talented player as well. Hopefully he'll get to rally those troops up and get them to step it up here.
I love the KT3 team as well, because that's the old school Kazakhstani Counter-Strike lineup in there of like actual, they've been there for a long time, and now to see them on PUBG as well, it's a great thing across the board. So many teams, so many organizations getting involved, and that's exactly what I want to see for PUBG Esports. More and more teams, all these, like even this, like We Need a Home and Seekorg, they're actively looking for orgs.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you want to look for a team, these guys are competing and they are fierce.
So Avangar, we know how scary they are when they don't get circles. Let's see what's going to happen when they get them. Now Snoopy is all by himself and he's going to get taken out by Clip. Riddle haven't had the best start to their games in the tournament so far, but this might be what they needed. That 1 early kill on the team that's currently sitting in first place could be the motivational boost that they need to get themselves off to a good one here in the final 4th game.
And so many teams rotating in from the west as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a massive cluster. Fastest fingers or fastest vehicles first in that sense of getting your way in and find yourself a compound. And who's going to go in for some of these fights? As Futbolists are here close by. Going to come into the Istanbul. Wildcats see what they can do. Slippy Zerg, he pokes out, tries to fire off some shots, but nades come out close towards him. He's going to drop the first aid kit and get away with it. But it's literally just nade after nade coming into play. Onar's been knocked down next. They're trying to fire back against them. Genzu's just pushing up nice and confident here, looking for more. And Slippy Zerg, he's out in the hut on his own. This would be their time to strike because the cavalry has not come in to give him some protection just yet.
This is such a hard place to play on with nades all over the place. Not only do they do a lot of damage, but they also make it really hard for you to see anything, you can't hear anything, and you can't really get an idea of what's happening around you. Wildcats throwing everything they got in here, but they're starting to take a lot of fire from behind. They need to figure if it's worth it to commit to this one, but they have Slippy Zerg all the way down here. They have a knocked player too, so they cannot back out of this one just yet.
They are completely pinned down. Simsy is now eliminated from Besiktas as well. They could maybe have 1 or 2 players left alive.
Yeah, also went down before as well, so there's one player remaining.
Time to snake it up. You don't want to be the first team again to get eliminated.
Yorkdale goes down. Max is so once again. We talked about him with the bold actions. He's a beast with him. And it shows right there. Slippy by himself trying to stay put. He does get taken down. LXG coming in from the side. And they're getting themselves knocks on the side. And that's going to be Wildcats taken out in 16th place. So Futbolist, a little help coming in from this side. You can see the positions here. They're all the way over on the west side. And they're applying pressure from far off.
And that was a fight that benefited neither team.
Yeah.
Early fight they had to take. It got very clustered in that position. Someone was trying to gain ground, and then the third parties came in. It wasn't meant to be.
LXG just fouled on the western side, saying we're going to engage in this one, not too hard. And as you said earlier, James, we saw so many teams come from the west and drive over towards the eastern side. It's so hard to play around Stalber and this entire mountain if you have to leave it again, because odds are when you try to get away from there, you won't get to go with your vehicles, because you most likely won't be the team furthest out. The compounds will be taken, so most teams would have settled for the western side, and then not wanting to commit to the mountain before they absolutely have to. And with this circle going so far east, they said, you know what, okay, well, odds are that we'll most likely have to get away up there, and you can see how many teams are up there now. If any of them try to drive off from here, because of the terrain, because of how hard it is to maneuver around and maintain a high speed in your vehicle, well, you're pretty much dead if you try to do that.
Lux up there in the north saying, all right, we're not last. How much can I hang on to now? Avangar having that bit of a back and forth with Riddle.
Simpson just trying to zigzag his way through the bullets coming in from Force. And now he's making his way into somewhat of a safe position. And Locke's saying, for now at least, for now, he'll be able to stay put. So pop up that good Spotify playlist and take a chill for a while at least. Because you're pretty much alone.
But for how long will that be? Teams will certainly start to gain some of that space up there towards the north and wade it out. Northern Lights making their way in from the east. Remember, they were one of the last teams to rotate round, but they've still got further than Gamerlegion have. Zen slowly coming up into it, and they might be challenging We Need a Home very shortly.
Yeah, see K23 up here. They don't have to leave, but again, this is one of those spots where it's a really good compound to sit in. Because, well, I mean, it's hard for teams to push you, but once you do have to leave, it's going to be evenly hard for you to leave that spot, because the distance that was your benefit now becomes a distance that is your burden to have to push on through. So they might want to consider getting at least 1 or 2 guys out of this compound and up on the eastern hills to sort of secure some space should the next circle go away from them.
Now, Gamerlegion, this is where they've got a tough circle, right, of what they've had to fight off of here. I want to see what they can do, because now they're beginning one of the last teams to rotate in. They're going to have to fight their way through non-stop here.
And you talked about how they've changed up things and how they've improved. I want to credit them, but now Bjorn does go down. I mean, this is a rough one. There's nothing you can do about it. Any player could get taken down. Perfect position to be in. And just the RNGs is taking down Bjorn there. So rough timing and not a whole lot more you can do in that situation. It's an unfortunate way to go down, but that is PUBG for you. Sometimes stuff like this does happen. But I was going to credit them for rotating in late, because that's completely opposite of what they've been doing earlier. And it has been, well, I mean, so far, they haven't had the most success as far as kill goes, but they have got some better placements than what we saw them do in Phase 1.
How many times in Phase 1 did we see them take a fight early and just lose it out on Potato Hill?
Yeah, exactly.
They became the losers of Potato. There was 2 teams doing that battle. They've learnt their lessons. They're trying to do this now, but uphill battle is a very hard thing to deal with. Nades already going out here as LXG is starting to push up onto no team tag. And they're heavily outnumbered here, but how can they hold on? Gibbets managed to get himself one. Jupesix there as well. And now they're just going to be tapping away, playing it out smart, and they are getting the eliminations on the board.
Given the individual skill set of the no-tag team, they haven't really been able to pull up the numbers that I would expect them to do. So getting some kills here early on, they got 4 already. They still have to push up the hill, sure, but they're in a good spot down here for now at least, and they'll be able to pull off some good things here. Arrows, former player from Wizards, and all of them are, I guess you can say, and O'Connell, formerly player from the Moonwolf team, as we knew back in the days there as well. Been in the scene for a long time, these guys, and I'm expecting good performances coming out of the former Wizards.
Now Force, taking a bit of damage from the blue. It's not the end of the world at this point, but it will certainly start to tick away going into the next phase. Ooh, Avangar, you're not going to have to move out of StarLadder just yet, but Luxie's going to have to try and creep his way in.
So we get Zoekt Een Naam on the edge like we wanted, and the center isn't really taken by anyone. But look at Southeast. You got 5 teams down there, and I was just going to say that this bottleneck is only going to get thinner, and you can see how little room they have to move around already. And Hamster and Gamerlegion, they're taking tons of damage accordingly.
Gamerlegion, I think they've got 1 player left alive now. That's just not going to work out well from that rotation in. They hoped to try and hold on to it, but they lost the player early on the bike, and now it's just been a complete slaughter fest for them. So it's going to be a waiting game to see how long they can kind of keep it going here. As both Forze and Northern Lights are back on the scoreboard. Powerful's there, but they do get eliminated. They can't frag out enough this time around.
McCann taken down as well. Sunsea down too. That's 3 teams eliminated there, I believe, and right back to back to back very, very quickly. All these guys taking down. Salters has a decent position down here. He does have a teammate that's kind of caught in the same building as an opponent, though, as you can see here. Insidegames on the southern side, sitting very, very tight in it. They have a really far open stretch to cross over, and they got Zoekt Een Naam on the other side, just waiting for them to run. Pixel already taken down.
This is where Zoekt Een Naam start to stretch their legs. They get into these fights, and this is the style they love to play. There's K2-3. They can see Seekorg in their sights. They've already lost 1 player, and they're going to lose another. Furax, he gets blown to smithereens. He gets shot out of the car, and Barlos is spinning out. He is not loving life right now, and he's just going to get his legs on and start running away to find himself a bit of a chance to maybe fight another game, as Insidegames are eliminated in 12, and Barlos...
I don't think you saw him.
There's out. What are you doing, bro?
He's looking up towards the buggy. I actually like the play the ball is pulled off. He just immediately ran off the side, but now he's shooting and he's going to go down. That is going to be yet another low-place game, but not only that, but a 0-point game for Seekorg here. They'll have to come back strong tomorrow on Miramar and get things going their way.
Lux is still holding strong, and at this rate, he's got great potential of making it within the top 8. Zen back on it, this time challenging Forze. Another kill on the board, and this is so reminiscent of what we used to see from Zen in Phase 1, Toby. This is the Zen we knew.
We talked about Ival. He's a good fragger. They've been losing him 2 games in a row now early on, but with him in the mix here, 5 kills added to the team. Page butts that one down the hill, and Hickey goes down immediately.
And they're not even going to allow him to wait it out. They've just gone straight in for the kill. Fosver's all alone. Now, there may be 4 kills up for Forze, which is still respectable. They're still able to hold in, but they're not within the placement points now. So it's this waiting game of, do I try to take this challenge?
T-Bone spots him out. That's going to be the info needed for his teammates. Fosver down 2, and Page adds himself 1 more to the list. Forze taken out, and Zoekt Een Naam once again in a top 10 position. Spyro all by himself. Probably just going to be, I was just going to say, be one with the Rock. The Rock is one with you, and just act like you're not there.
He's got his camouflage on. He believes he can hide out. Now, one thing we're seeing from Zen again is this military squad style, right?
Yeah.
The IGL doing his work, them playing together as a unit and just taking these fights as a full 4-man squad. Now they're going to be looking for more as they've come into this circle. The new circle's going to pop. Where is it going to go is going to be the question, and these teams will have to play with it. But Zen, this time, going to be in it. Avangar and Riddle are both going to have to move out, and they've been there for the longest time, not really fighting. Northern Lights, they rotated all the way from military base, up round the sides of Kameshki, and now have come all the way around. They're going to have to get their legs on as well.
Now, Riddle did take down Snoopy earlier. I know it's a while back, but it should be the info that they need, because they got themselves that 1 kill. And if they realize they're up against Avangar up here, that could be them saying, you know what, we got a 4v3, this could be the fight that we need to win it. But Avangar, we've seen them pull off crazy 1-man performances before, and you can never, ever count out any single one of these players before they're all taken down.
Once again, 5 kills up now for Page himself. He's going on the annihilation train. But Polideric is at least going to reply to Ivor. The nades are barreling out, and there's so many grenades. Ivor, how are you going to stay up? It's not going to be possible. Page is needing to get a heal off. This is a barrel, an absolute barrage. It's a mortar of grenades. Once again, Vascu tries to deliver one himself, but the nade meta is coming in strong, and we need a home was ready.
I mean, we have just lost 3 players, 4 players make that, 1 from nades, one from bullets. Everything else has been nades. I mean, that just goes to show you can throw them from the safety of cover, and it's not going to cost you anything. This one, if Page can cook it correctly, that's going to be at least a single or double kill. Might just have rolled a bit too far. Nope, that's going to be it. All of them down. Nades, nades, nades galore. Some love them, some hate them, and I'm sure we need a home. Said, you know what, we might have gotten a kill off of that, but holy cow, we just got blown up.
Look at the circle control now for Zen. That spot is huge for them. Massive work being done there. Yes, they lost 2 players, which is less than ideal, but they managed to get the damage done. Kills across the board. And the thing is, you can be an amazing fragger in terms of actual individual ability and shooting, but when it comes to those grenades, there's not much you can do other than try and run away and stay out of range.
And especially in an area where terrain is against you, it's just, I mean, first of all, it's really important to be good at throwing nades, because it can grant you so much. But going up against it, it's just there's very little counterplay. I mean, if you're up against the guy that's just that good at placing those nades right and cooking them so you can't make a counterplay on it, it's practically impossible to do anything, to be honest.
Now K23 on the hunt, but Dupzig is going to hold strong for now. He's looking for more. Nades again coming into action, and Dupzig, he tries to run away, but it's not possible, and K23 go on the cleanup.
Really good job by them. Had 2 rough games so far. Mumino went for the rest here, but he's going to go down. Spiro, well, it's a solo player. Now he's getting activated. Oh, spots out. That's what he's going to get himself 1 more. Solo player remaining. Can he land this one? It's a far toss. It's a far toss, and now he's getting spotted out too. And he gets him! He gets the triple! What?
Spyro, living the dream as a solo player, made it to top 6, barrels out the nades and causes the shots, and they are just left for dead, quite literally.
What? That was absolutely insane. Goes to show you the power of a nade, 1 man in a dream. That's all you need. He just secured his team a ton of points off of them getting off to the roughest of rough starts in the universe.
I'm living my best life commentating these PUBG games, and he's living his best life as a solo player, making it happen. But there's another one on your screen. Lux for Besiktas. 2 games back-to-back being eliminated in 16th position. They have had a bit of a struggle start overall after a very impressive first game with a 3rd place in there. But Lux is now looking to deliver it in as many placement points as possible. He won't be able to get as many kills, but you never know what can happen when it comes down towards this end game.
That's the thing. Lux is a super talented player, and for these guys making the push up the hill, you cannot take any one tree, any one spot for granted, because there will be, more often than not, someone hiding behind there, and you gotta check everything. 0 kills so far. LXG does get taken out. Spiro put up a great fight, but will go down in the end.
I'm fully respecting him. He's just hit my he's hit my top list of like an MVP play of today. What a way to get it done.
I hope one of the observers caught that nade in all of its flight there. That was absolutely insane. To not only throw it under that much pressure, he took it out to begin with, took it back down, got himself the throw on in, and then he takes out all of the team by himself. Lux, though, taking out Aspirin, got the angle on towards him, and, well, I mean, Besiktas, losing 3 players early on, did manage to get themselves a 5th place anyway.
Avangar now under pressure, and it's Northern Lights once again. Oh, they're going to look for a repeat of the previous game in a different location. Shots coming off. Max was able to deliver some, but is it going to be enough here? Noctiv's found himself dead and out of it, and now 2 players remain, 1 being knocked on the floor, and Avangar, they are on Struggle City right now.
And this would be a great game for Northern Lights, saying, you know, we can win a military, but you can switch it upside down, and we can go take a win in the north as well. Part of their team name, I guess you can say. Trying to see if they can get things going on up here. 6 kills already and top 4 place guaranteed.
Riddle's come into it, and they've been battling with Avangar since the start. Avangar go out in 4th, and they honestly didn't have that many kills this time around because they haven't had to move. Stalbert's been gifted to them over and over again. Then they come out of it. Riddle were giving them a bit of a battle back and forth. And you've still got 4 Riddle members alive. Riddle is coming into their own here on the final game of today.
It's one of those situations where, just like with Zoekt Een Naam in the past 3 games, sure, they got the placements, and we say, oh, they didn't get any kills. It's because they were in a situation where they couldn't go hunt them. You would always, if you get the circles thrown smash on top of you, prioritize that over trying to go on the edge. Like, give up your good position. Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense to try and do that.
It's like, hey guys, we believe in our really good ability, so we'll just give up our circle.
Yeah,
for someone else to take. No, not the way it's supposed to be done.
Not at all. I like the way that Paige and T-Bone are moving here, though. They're moving their way down south. They know that they cleared it earlier. They had all the control down south. They were the southern vacuum, I guess you can say, on that entire edge line there, while everyone else was fighting out east and up north. And now I think what they're doing here is sit down south, get into a good spot here. They know there are multiple teams left remaining, and try and force them to fight each other. And then potentially, as you can see, try to get back on the backside flank here and get into a good spot. If you can force these 2 teams to fight, because they're clearly not the ones with the higher player numbers. If you can force them to fight and force them to fight, get them to focus elsewhere, get them vulnerable, that's when they can jump in from the side. T-Bone, Paige, 2 very, very good fraggers. And if they can get Riddle to look the other direction just for a split second, that could be 2 knocks coming in instantly.
And you can already see it in how they've split themselves off just a little bit here. Paige has already had some shots fired at him. 40 damage being done, but he's able to hold strong just for a little bit longer here.
How does Northern Lights play on this, though? They heard shots fired. They know that the teams know where each other are. Do they do what they wanted to do now? Do they just wait out and let them fight it off, or do they try to get an engage here?
They're looking to take the northern high ground, but they're going to still struggle against Riddle here if they come out into it. Like, there's not really an advantageous position that Northern Lights can take because Riddle truly is king of the hill at the moment.
Yep. They're sitting well in it, but they also know for a fact that they have teams on both sides now with Northern Lights shooting down towards them, and they cannot let these guys pin them in. Sure, they're only 2 players in the south, but we know what nades can do, and if they get positioned correctly, it's ever so dangerous to be up against them.
And that's exactly what's starting to happen. Some nades go out. Hanny has to move away. Doesn't want to deal with that for too much longer, especially if they've got an idea of where he's sat. Got the smoke down at front of him to provide a little bit of cover here.
Now, I don't think it's intentional, but I kind of like what he did there. 1 nade blows behind him, and then he runs over to where it blew, because who throws the nade the exact same spot twice if it didn't get any kills on it, right?
Exactly.
So I don't think it was intentional, just the way that he moved right back to where it blew. It was actually a pretty smart play.
Decision making.
For sure.
If you can do that yourself, right? It's a risk that's worthwhile then, because like you said, it's unlikely you're going to double nade it unless you did get the knock in the first place.
Yeah, you throw that first one, and then if you don't get it, you throw the next one like a little further to the right or something like that. So smart play. If there was intentional, even if it wasn't, it was a smart play anyway. And now, as you can see, the circle's sort of excluding the top of Stalber. They're forced to make the run and out.
And with how important the utility and especially the nades are now in the current iteration we've got here for PUBG, you have to use them wisely.
They're doing a 3-1 split now. It seems like they've left Sinsen behind, trying to potentially hold off Zoekt Een Naam should they get aggressive on this and push on up. I like the idea. They have the numbers. They know they're 4 alive in a 9-man game, but they need to sort of utilize the fact that they have all these amounts of players alive.
Instantly gets on the bandaging game. That nade took a good chunk of health away from him, but he's not going to go down and out of it just yet.
That's the thing. Everyone's been fighting the entire game. Riddle has been, well, I mean, at least to some extent allowed to play it a little more careful on the northeastern side while everyone's just fighting down south. Nade's coming out. Now T-Bone trying to throw it out. Paige gets himself some damage done up towards Sinsen as well.
And this is it. They will look for it if they can, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay, Bro's having to run away. He does not want to take this engagement on his own. So much damage being done here from Zen. But in the meantime, both Riddle and Northern Lights are looking at each other like, okay, what the hell's going on? Where do we go from here? Because we know you guys are close by.
See, Sinsen's just holding the angle, waiting to try and see if he can get an angle on him. Once it does peek out behind the tree, Paige down already. T-Bone, Corp behind this tree. Clip knows where he is. Takes him down to low HP. Quizzy now on the other side. That's the fight going on here. Gets the knock on towards him. As you can see, Riddle, they're getting a little too over-aggressive here.
And that was huge there. Quizzy playing that so smart, ducking and diving back on forward on that tree, able to win it out. How much more can be done? Northern Lights have evened up the numbers, and they're looking to now try and take some control, but the Deep finds himself knocked down. A powerful nade comes out. And this is it. Zoekt Een Naam get eliminated. Riddle now know they only have one more team to deal with, potentially here, and they've just got to play it smart.
You see, okay, bro, far up on the top side. Yort knows approximately where that other team was just before. Quizzy is getting the rest of them. Oh, look at this. He has the position. It's all going to be a question of when he decides to start the engagement.
So well played. Just smart on the trigger finger, doesn't want to overextend it, now gets another kill on the board. Northern Lights, they are potentially looking for back-to-back wins here. The damage can be done. There's only 2 Riddle players left. Zinzan starts off strong though. He finds the deep. Quizzy's not going to move. Okay, bro's right behind the rocks, but they know exactly where these players are, and he's going to be able to get himself another kill in there. The deep finds himself finished off, but okay, bro's on top of it. Hanny knows exactly where he's going to be pinned from, and he goes down. Northern Lights get 2 wins in a row and another high kill game.
What a hell of a performance.